Hey YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today I am going to be reviewing my Viper Knives Odino. Now this is a knife that I have been wanting to pick up for quite a while now, actually ever since it came out. And for me, this was a knife that I thought, okay, look, if it's done right, it's going to be perfect, but if it is bad, it's going to be bad. I have seen a few videos on this knife with some very bad experiences, and I've seen a few videos with some great experiences. One that had negative feedback on it was from Apostle P's channel, and he was just not too happy with how it was constructed in regards to being able to take the knife apart. For me, I don't really have any intention to take these knives apart. Any of my knives, I really just don't. I'm old school, okay? I usually flush them out with hot water, throw in some mineral oil, and I'm good to go. If a screw gets loose, I try to unscrew it, put some new Loctite on it, and there we go. I don't usually take my knives completely apart to clean them out. That's one of the reasons why I usually try to go for an open construction knife like this with a very small backspacer, just primarily because it makes it easier to clean. This knife here is fantastic. I will get that straight right now. This one has had no issues. The lock is fantastic. No problems with it engaging there. No lock stick. Fall is just perfect. The detent on this is great. There was another channel that I watched where he said that there was some detent rock, and I have no detent rock. Goes in, no detent rock. It only comes out when it needs to. Closes very nice, very tight. The detent on this, I would say, is probably about 7. It's strong, but it's not too strong. It really does allow you to do that middle finger flick. I can even do an index flick. And, well, not as easily, but I can almost do a ring finger flip. So the detent is very well dialed in, and the screws, I have to say, are very well done. There's a lot of depth to these screws, a lot of depth. They're machined very well. One of the things that I found very interesting is that they have a very small pattern here. And let me get this small magnifying glass out. So let me first get that cleaned. But it has this very small pattern on the screw itself, and the screw has this weird pattern to it on the outside of the milling, and I really don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a crimping that's been done so the screw can hold on to it a little bit better. I don't know, but it's present on all of the body screws. And I just don't know what those are. When it comes to the clip screw, they're not there, but all the body screws are there, even on the lock bar. Now, when it comes to the primary or the pivot screw, there's none of that present. But you can see there's still those marks there on the lock bar screw as well. I really don't know what that is. That might be part of the manufacturing, but it has not affected anything on the operation of the screws. Now, this is the titanium frame lock and titanium show side model. They have this in orange, black, carbon fiber, and OD green. And the black, OD green, and the orange are all going to be G10. This is the titanium. I really wanted the titanium just because of this sound. Don't know if the speaker is going to get that, but this sound is fantastic. It really has a really nice sound when it opens. It has a nice ching sound to it, and for me that really is nice. Then the thumb opening is great. You can also thumb roll it, but for me you really have to get past that detent. The construction on this is really good. I was very dubious of this cutout here, primarily because it just looks so uneven. It doesn't look all that comfortable, especially when you consider this possible hot spot here. But when you get your index finger here, middle finger here, it really is comfortable. It is a very comfortable knife to use. One of the downsides, though, I wish Jesper would have put this jimping here on the spine of the blade here. I really think that would have added to grip here and then to grip here when using the knife, because the jimping back here actually is present. You really feel that engage into your palm and it really grips it, but when it comes to your thumb, you really don't have that jimping there. You just have the crowned spine, which is unfortunate, I think. Now, when it comes to the hole here, it is chamfered beautifully. The machining on this is fantastic. The N690 steel is very, very good. A lot of people say that they would have preferred M390, but actually with this, I find this to be a work knife. This is going to be a work knife. This is something that you're going to take with you, open up boxes. This is going to cut up cord. This is going to cut rope. You have a lot of belly here where you can do a nice pressured down cut. You can do nice draw cuts. You can also do some really strong push cuts. And this N690 steel is going to be great because you're going to be able to strop it up very quickly in the field. And if you really had to sharpen it, you can do that very easily. It's not going to take a lot of effort. So I actually do agree with the N690 steel here. The pocket clip, at first I hated this pocket clip. This pocket clip for me was a little bit difficult to get out of the pocket when you were grabbing it, but I was grabbing it back here, right over here, and the pocket clip is rather slick, and over here you don't have a lot of grip. But actually when you put your finger over here and then your thumb on this part of the knife here, you could pull it out very, very easily. And it comes out very, very nicely. So for me, I had to warm up to that pocket clip a little bit. And then it is also left and right hand carry. Usually Jesper Voxnaes only does right hand carry on his models, and I really wish he had on this one, because now you have this odd shape here and then this screw hole here to accommodate that pocket clip. And personally, I wish this was just a clean side. I really like the look of this shape, this size of this knife, and just the edges all on here are all crowned very, very well. It just would have made the knife look a little bit cleaner, especially when you're considering the G10 or carbon fiber may have some sharp edges there. When it comes to the lanyard hole, I actually think it's very well done. I did throw a lanyard on this just to see if I liked it, and I have to say I do. I really do like the lanyard on there, because when you're actually pulling it out of the pocket, that lanyard ends up over here, and it really does help you gain a little bit of control when pulling it out of your pocket, or possibly even getting it out of a deeper pocket that you might have. So if you were not carrying this on the pocket clip and you were just carrying this in the pocket, you would be able to find that lanyard a little bit better and have something else to grab onto. So for me, I really do agree with the pocket clip, and I agree with the lanyard hole. Personally, one of the things I don't really like all that much is the way the blade stop is integrated here. I wish the blade stop was over here and not here. Primarily because when you start sharpening this blade, you are going to keep taking material over here out of the way. And I know that the blade stop ends up right here, but I have no idea how that might affect it stopping in its place if you start taking material further back over here. Now, I'm sure that you could send this knife to Viper and get a new blade if that was the case. Whoop, there we go. But I just don't like that. I wish it was a little further back, and then you could possibly even deepen the choil over time, or possibly modify the blade if you had to. So for me, that is just one of the gripes there. The blade stop for the blade when it's opened is wonderful. I think this is a very nice, strong piece of metal here. It's very thick, very sturdy, and I think it goes well with the knife's construction. Sometimes on smaller knives, they put small blade stops, but on this one, they put a nice thick one there, and it does a great job of locking everything up. Now this knife so far, I've been enjoying it. I haven't carried it too often. It's not very shorts friendly, but when it comes to carrying it in jeans, it is a joy to carry, and it's very compact. I was actually very tempted to get a G10 model, but instead I got something else. But for me, this thing is definitely a keeper. Now the question is, do I want to anodize it? Do I want to anodize this blue, maybe do this bronze? What do I want to do? Well, I don't know. That would involve me having to take this apart, and I don't know if I really want to do that. But other than that, I think it's a great design. Now, you're probably wondering, is it running on ceramic bearings? No, it is actually running on steel bearings, which are captured, and they are also running in a steel track. So it's not running on the scale, and it's not running on a flat washer either. The washer has been milled out to have a track specifically made for these bearings. And I think that'll add life to the knife. But the other thing that I really like is, unlike ceramic, the steel bearings are probably going to be a better choice, because ceramic can chip and it can crack if you tighten this too tight. Steel is probably going to get pressed out of shape just a little bit, but I think steel is a great choice here, and same goes for the detent ball. It is also going to be steel, which I think it is. I think it is steel. Let me take a look here. Let's see. I got a light over here. Let's see. Yeah, it's steel, I believe. Or is it ceramic? I believe it's steel. I think I just haven't cleaned that out all that much. But it is still a very good system, and I find it to be very, very reliable. Now, this knife here is pretty big. It's not like the Pilar. It's got some heft and size to it. So here it is compared to a Benchmade Mini Barrage. And then up above it is going to be a Spyderco Endura. And then I'll move that out of the way. And then here is a Chris Reeve Small and Cosi. So it does have some size to it. It's got some heft, which is surprising. There's really no milling on the inside of here at all. So you're getting the full slabs of titanium. You're getting that entire blade's weight. And for me personally, I find that to be great, because this is going to be a great worker, great user, and I'm very happy to have it. Now, should you buy this knife? I mean, I think it's a great knife. It's expensive though. These are about $180 as it sits. And personally, if you want to get something made by Vox, you can go over to CRKT, you can go over to Boker and a few other brands that he's worked with. But personally, this is very premium, and it's based upon one of his customs. So for me, this is as close as I'm going to get to one of his customs, I personally feel. And if he is willing to do this for Viper in such a way that it is this top-notch in quality, I think that $180 is actually very well spent. Now, if you were going to go for the titanium, those are the hardest ones to find right now. I personally feel you can find the G10 and the carbon fiber no problem, but these just sell like hotcakes, I find. So finding this one in stock anywhere is a little bit of a trick, but if you do find it and you have the cash, grab it. Now, I get it. N690 is not going to be the greatest steel. I know that that might be a turnoff for some people, but so far I have found that it strops up very well. It's very robust, and it's pretty tough. I have found it to be rather tough in my uses, and with all this blade here and then this very stout tip, it's going to hold up to some abuse. So I thought you guys would enjoy seeing this one and seeing my review on it. If you did, hit that like button, and till the next one, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.